Los Angeles, 1968. Two martial arts champions face each other in a private gym. Chuck Norris, multiple-time world karate champion, undefeated in competition, known for devastating speed. Bruce Lee, martial arts innovator, teaching Hollywood's elite, claiming to be faster than anyone alive. Chuck wants proof. Let's test it, you and me. Speed test, right now. What happens in the next 60 seconds doesn't just prove who's faster, it redefines what speed means. Chuck doesn't just lose, he loses before his fist even moves. And the lesson Bruce teaches him that day changes Chuck's entire approach to martial arts, forever. Let me tell you about the speed test that humbled a champion. 1968. Chuck Norris is at the top. Six-time undefeated world karate champion. Fastest hands in tournament karate. Legendary for his speed. Nobody's faster. That's what Chuck believes. Then he hears about Bruce Lee, the little Chinese guy teaching movie stars. Chuck is skeptical. Movie stuff, not real fighting. But people keep talking. Bruce is different. His speed is unreal. Chuck hears this from Joe Louis, his fellow champion. Chuck, you need to see Bruce. His speed, I've never seen anything like it. Chuck is intrigued, but also competitive. How fast? Faster than you? Chuck doesn't believe it. Nobody's faster than me. My hands are timed at 0.2 seconds. Joe smiles. Go see him. Test it yourself. Chuck decides he'll visit Bruce's school, not to learn, to prove Joe wrong. He arrives, Bruce is teaching, demonstrating a technique. Chuck watches, impressed by the fluidity, but not convinced about the speed. Bruce finishes, sees Chuck. Chuck Norris, I've heard about you, world champion. Congratulations. They shake hands. Chuck feels Bruce's grip, strong, but his hands are small. I've heard about you too, Chuck says. Good things, I hope. Fast things. People say you're fast. Bruce smiles. I try to be efficient. Chuck gets direct. I want to test something. Your speed versus mine, straight comparison. Bruce considers. Why? Because I'm fast, really fast, and I want to know if you're faster. Simple. Bruce nods. Okay, how do you want to test? Chuck explains. Simple drill. We face each other. Arms at our sides. On go, we both punch. First one to land wins. Bruce agrees. But let's make it more interesting. How? I'll tell you when I'm going to punch, before I do it, and you still won't be able to stop it. Chuck laughs. If you tell me when, I'll block it every time. Let's try. They face each other, 3 feet apart, arms at sides. Students gather, watching. This is historic. Two champions, testing speed, pure, simple, definitive. Bruce speaks. Ready? Chuck nods. On 3, I'll punch. You defend. 1, 2, 3. Bruce's fist is on Chuck's chest. Before Chuck moves, Chuck's eyes go wide. Wait, do that again. Bruce steps back. 1, 2, 3. Same result. Fist on chest. Before Chuck reacts, Chuck is stunned. How are you doing that? You're telling me when. I'm ready. But you still get through. Bruce explains. You're reacting to my punch. By the time you see it, it's already too late. I'm not fast because I move fast. I'm fast because I eliminate wasted movement. Chuck doesn't understand. Show me slower. Bruce demonstrates in slow motion. No wind-up, no chamber, no telegraph. Fist goes straight, from resting position to target, direct line, no wasted movement. Chuck watches, studies, tries it himself, can't replicate. His punch starts with a chamber, pulls back first, then forward. That's the difference. 0.1 seconds. Seems like nothing, but at this level, it's everything. Bruce explains more. In karate, you chamber punches, pull back to your hip, then thrust forward. That chamber adds time, adds telegraph. I've eliminated it. Chuck is processing his entire karate training, built on chambering, fundamental technique, now being challenged. But the chamber gives you power, Chuck argues. Does it? Bruce demonstrates. Chambered punch, on a pad, hard impact, then direct punch, no chamber. Same impact, maybe harder. Power comes from your body, Your hips, your structure, your timing, not from pulling back. That's an illusion, a habit, not a necessity. Chuck is silent, absorbing. Bruce continues. Watch. He stands still. I'm going to punch you in the face. Light contact. You can defend however you want, but I'm going to tell you exactly when. Ready? Chuck raises his guard. Ready. On now. Now. Bruce's fist taps Chuck's forehead, through his guard. Chuck didn't even see it. Again, Chuck demands. Now. Tap. Again. Now. Tap. 5 times. Same result. Chuck lowers his guard. Defeated. Not physically, mentally. Everything he thought. About speed, about technique, about martial arts. Challenged in 60 seconds. If you love Bruce Lee stories, subscribe. I post rare stories every day. How? Chuck asks. Simply, humbly. Bruce sits. Gestures for Chuck to sit. Speed isn't about how fast you move. It's about how little you move. Every unnecessary movement is time wasted. Time your opponent can use. I've spent years eliminating waste. What's left is pure efficiency. Chuck listens. Really listens. Your karate is beautiful, powerful, technical, but it's designed for a different purpose. Tournament fighting, points, form. My approach is designed for one thing: effectiveness, different goals, different methods. Can you teach me? Bruce considers. You're a champion. You have a system that works. Why change? Because you just proved my system has limits. I want to learn those limits and how to transcend them. Bruce respects this humility from a champion. Rare. Come back tomorrow. We'll train. Chuck returns. The next day, and the day after, and the day after that. For months, Bruce teaches him not to abandon karate, but to enhance it. Keep your karate, it's your foundation. Strong foundation, but add efficiency, add directness, add economy. The first sessions are frustrating. Chuck's muscle memory fights him. Years of chambering punches, pulling back before striking. Ingrained, deep. Bruce is patient. Unlearning is harder than learning. Your body knows one way. We're teaching it another. Takes time. They drill hundreds of punches. Direct, no chamber. Chuck's form breaks down. This feels wrong because it's unfamiliar. Not wrong. Different. Give it time. Week 2. Chuck starts feeling it. The directness, the efficiency. His punches arrive faster, not because he's moving faster, because the distance is shorter. Bruce times him. Before training, 0.22 seconds from guard to target. After 2 weeks, 0.16 seconds. You just shaved 0.06 seconds. In a fight, that's the difference between hitting and missing. Chuck feels it. The improvement, real, measurable, significant. Bruce teaches footwork next. Your karate footwork is strong, stable, powerful, but slow. Watch. Bruce demonstrates. Small steps, quick, efficient, covers same distance, half the time. Big steps look impressive. Small steps work better. Less telegraphing, faster recovery, more options. Chuck practices, his natural instinct. Large, powerful steps. Now learning. Small, quick adjustments. Feels awkward, like learning to walk again. Good, Bruce says. Awkward means progress. Comfortable means stagnant. Bruce also teaches reading opponents. Don't watch hands, watch center mass. Watch shoulders. Watch hips. They move before hands. React to them. You'll beat the punch. Chuck tries. Bruce throws slow punches. Chuck watches the shoulder. Sees it move. Before the punch. There, I saw it. Bruce speeds up. Chuck keeps watching. Starts intercepting. Before punches land. This is incredible, Chuck says. I'm seeing attacks before they happen. Not before. During setup. Setup happens before execution. You're just learning to read earlier in the sequence. Months of training. Chuck transforms. Not just technique. Philosophy. Bruce shares his thinking. Karate teaches forms. Perfect technique. Beautiful execution. Nothing wrong with that. But real fighting isn't perfect. It's chaotic, unpredictable, messy. You need principles that work in chaos, not just in forms, Chuck asks. What are the principles? Bruce explains. Simplicity. Use the simplest technique that works. Complex fails under pressure. Directness. Shortest path wins. Economy. Every movement costs energy. Remove waste. Speed. Not just physical. Decision speed. Reaction speed. Adaptation speed. Non-attachment. Don't commit to one style, one technique. Flow, adapt, change. Chuck writes these down, studies them, applies them. His karate evolves, becomes hybrid, traditional foundation, enhanced by Bruce's principles. Other champions notice. Ask Chuck, what changed? Chuck is honest. Bruce Lee, he showed me efficiency. My karate is the same, just better. Some are skeptical. Karate doesn't need kung fu. Chuck corrects them. Bruce isn't teaching me kung fu. He's teaching me physics, biomechanics, efficiency. These aren't style-specific. They're universal. Months pass, Chuck has a tournament, championship defense. He enters different. His opponents notice. Chuck's stance is different. He fights different too. Direct punches, no chambers, no pulls, just straight lines. His opponents can't adapt, can't defend. Chuck wins, easily, faster than ever, because he's more efficient than ever. Post-fight interview. Chuck, your technique looked different tonight. Chuck nods. I've been training with Bruce Lee. He showed me that speed isn't about fast movement. It's about efficient movement. I applied that tonight. This creates buzz. Bruce Lee, teaching world champions, making them better. Chuck continues training with Bruce for years. They become close friends, training partners, brothers. 1972. Bruce is making a movie. Way of the Dragon needs a final fight against a Western martial artist. Calls Chuck. Want to be in a movie? Fight me on screen? Chuck agrees. Not for fame, for the experience. To fight Bruce, officially, for the world to see. The Colosseum scene becomes legendary. Chuck versus Bruce. Karate versus Jeet Kune Do. Size versus speed. Power versus efficiency. The choreography is perfect because they know each other, train together, respect each other. Chuck shows his karate, powerful kicks, strong punches, technical excellence. Bruce shows his adaptation, speed, counters, efficiency. The fight ends. Bruce wins, on screen, but off screen. Both won. Chuck learned speed. Bruce gained a friend. 1973. Bruce dies. Chuck is devastated, loses his teacher, his friend, his brother. Carries the lessons forever, every time he teaches, every time he fights, every time he moves. Bruce is there, in the efficiency, in the directness, in the speed. 2020, Chuck is 80, still training, still teaching. Gives an interview about Bruce. People ask me about Bruce Lee, about our friendship, about training with him. The story I tell most is the speed test. 1968. He challenged me, said he'd tell me when he'd punch, and I still couldn't stop it. He was right. I couldn't. Why not? Because I was reacting to his movement. By the time I saw the punch, it was already there. Bruce taught me something that day. Speed isn't about being fast. It's about being first, about eliminating the gap between decision and action. That's real speed. Did that change your martial arts? Completely. Before Bruce, I was fast because I trained to be fast. After Bruce, I was faster because I trained to be efficient. He didn't make my hands move faster. He made my technique shorter, straighter, cleaner, same result, less time. Do you teach that now? Every day to every student, I tell them the story about Bruce, about the speed test, about losing before I threw a punch, because that's the most important lesson. You can't beat speed you can't see. So don't try to be faster. Try to be first. The interviewer asks, if you could fight Bruce again, would you win? Chuck smiles, sad smile. No, and I wouldn't want to. Bruce wasn't my opponent. He was my teacher, my friend, my brother. Fighting him taught me. Losing to him elevated me. Knowing him changed me. I don't want to beat Bruce. I want to honor him by being the best version of what he taught me. That interview goes viral. Millions of views, comments pour in. Chuck Norris lost to Bruce Lee and became better for it. That's wisdom. The speed test story is legendary. Chuck's humility is beautiful. Two legends, one teaching, one learning, both growing. Chuck's legacy isn't just his championships, his movies, his fame. It's spreading Bruce's teachings to thousands of students who never met Bruce, but learned from him through Chuck. The speed test, 1968, lasted 60 seconds, changed a champion forever. If you love Bruce Lee stories, subscribe. I post rare stories every day.